There's a lot of Sims 4 packs that, in my opinion, and in most other Simmers' opinions, deserve a refresh. The Sims team have a lot of abandoned projects. Like, do you remember when they told us they would be updating every single major Sims 4 pack with extra bunk beds when the bunk bed update came out, but they didn't do it? Do you remember when the toddler update came out, they told us they would update older packs with toddler stuff, but like they didn't do it? Do you remember when they told us they would be giving us townie refreshes where they refresh every single townie in the game, but like they haven't done it? And do you remember when they told us after the Spa Day refresh that they'd be later on refreshing other packs, but like they haven't done it? It's been well over a year since the Spa Day refresh and we haven't heard any news about any other refreshes yet, but being realistic, I do think there are packs that could be refreshed. I know a lot of people are saying things like, oh, Get to Work needs to be refreshed, blah, blah, blah. That pack already does have a lot of stuff in it. And in this video, like, I want to be proper realistic, like super realistic in terms of what actually could happen. I think it's important that we look at the first ever game pack for The Sims 4. In fact, the first ever pack itself for The Sims 4, which was Outdoor Retreat. This was the first pack to introduce the idea of game packs. And back then, I don't even think EA really knew what a game pack was. They didn't know what kind of content it should contain. As a result, Outdoor Retreat is one of the most lackluster packs when it comes for content in game packs, and it doesn't really come with that much stuff. In terms of gameplay, it comes with bug collecting and herb collecting and making little herbology potions, but that's basically it, and it's not really that in-depth in terms of features. Even the lake that comes with the world is not even swimmable. You think going to an outdoor retreat you'd at least be able to swim in the bloody lake, but you can't. Firstly, I think it needs to come with more tents. The pack only comes with 2 tents and they're relatively bland looking. I personally would like another tent that looks more suitable for kids in more colorful designs. I would also love to see a luxury tent, you know, like glamping instead of camping. Is that a thing outside of the UK? Like, do other people do that? In the UK, we have glamping, glamorous camping. I've never done it, but it looks like a lot of fun. I'd love glamping in The Sims 4. I'd also love pitchable tents. The way the tents work in The Sims 4, like you just pop them up, but like imagine actually pitching up a tent and it all goes wrong. Like that would be hilarious. The next thing is Granite Falls needs to be livable. You should be able to live in the forest world. There is no reason why you can't live in this world. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. The next thing we need realistically is group hikes. Hiking exists in The Sims 4 Snowy Escape and The Sims 4 Growing Together. They already have the coding in the game. I personally think that they should add hiking to Outdoor Retreat. I think it would make a lot of sense and I think it would be easy for them to put in because they've already made the coding for it for Snowy Escape and Growing Together. Next thing is they need to have activities. They have that thing where you like throw a fucking horseshoe at a thing and try and aim it on the pole. Like that's boring. I'm sorry, but they could do better than that in a bloody game pack. What about canoeing or kayaking, guys? We haven't had that in The Sims 4 and the lake and Outdoor Retreat would be perfect. It could be a skill that only goes up to level 3 or level 5. It could have the ability to capsize and fall in the water and put your Sims in a bad mood. That would be hilarious. They could add rock climbing as a second activity because we already have that in The Sims 4 fitness stuff and The Sims 4 Snowy Escape. They could really easily implement that realistically. In terms of herbalism as a skill, I personally don't think herbalism is enough. I think that they should add a lot more depth because right now with the herbalism thing, basically you make what are kind of like potions, but they only do very basic things like change your Sims moodlet for an hour or 2. Like it's not really that deep. I think they should increase the frequency of like bug attacks and things and getting ill like they do with The Sims 4 Jungle Adventure, because in Jungle Adventure if you get bitten by an insect you get intoxicated and you basically die if you don't cure yourself. Imagine if they had with the Outdoor Retreat world something similar where if your Sim gets bitten you need to make one of those herbalism potions so your Sim doesn't die. I think that would be cool. Imagine being able to make herbal teas. Simmers have been begging for ages for a kettle. If you're American, you might not know what a kettle is. It's basically a thing you boil water in. I know you guys boil water in your microwaves. You're the only country in the world that boils water in microwaves. Guys, we need kettles in The Sims 4. I want to make a cup of tea. Imagine being able to make herbal tea using herbs that you get with Outdoor Retreat. It's such a small thing, but it's just another thing you can add in a refresh, which I think is realistic. Another thing I'd like to see is Bigfoot. These days, there are a lot of social justice warriors in the Sims community, and I do feel like they'd find a way to turn Bigfoot into some big offensive thing. Oh, this is offensive. This is appropriation of something. So realistically, I'm not too sure if the Sims team would ever put Bigfoot in, but I think it would be absolutely great. I believe the Sims 2 Vacation Pack came with Bigfoot. I did a Let's Play of it a while ago, and I actually woohooed with Bigfoot. Bigfoot and I had him live with me and it was hilarious. I would love a Bigfoot in The Sims 4, and I think why not put it in Outdoor Retreat? It is literally the perfect pack for it. Imagine if Bigfoot comes at your lot late at night and kind of wreaks havoc a little bit. I think it would be so funny and quirky and bring back some of that Sims 1, 2, and 3 quirkiness people really miss. And being able to, you know, add them to your household, that would be the icing of the cake for Outdoor Retreat. It really would be. I asked you guys on YouTube and a lot of you said Outdoor Retreat too, but the majority of you said Dine Out. Dine Out is a weird pack. I personally love Dine Out. I love the idea of it. I love the concept of it, but the way it was implemented wasn't very good because there aren't that many features. In a Dine Out refresh, realistically, they could do a lot of bug fixes with it to make it a lot more enjoyable. It is a very broken pack, and it's not just the bugs, but gameplay features. You can't actually run the restaurant yourself. You can own it on paper, but you can't do anything really. You can't cook the food. You can't be a waiter. You can't be a host. You can't do anything really. Also, the restaurant itself, it doesn't really facilitate like a fast food style restaurant, and I personally think that would be a really fun concept to implement. Somebody said they hope that we can add a lot more things like having a family business and not hiring randos. Again, this just makes so much sense. Why can't you run your own business properly? And the reason why this is a totally realistic refresh idea is because it's actually already been done with a mod. Carl's Dine Out Reloaded mod is, in my opinion, one of the best mods I've ever seen for The Sims 4, and that's because it is so well implemented, it literally feels official. I have had a lot of fun gameplay with this mod, and it makes the experience of Dine Out so fun. The mod itself fixes a lot of bugs and issues that occur in the original Dine Out pack, and it makes the experience a lot more manageable. You can choose whether to hire an NPC or a townie in order to work at your restaurant, or you could choose to work at the restaurant yourself. It was actually a lot of fun doing all of the cooking and being a host and being a waiter all at the same time. It makes it a lot more challenging in a fun way. It feels like Flo's Diner Dash, and I love it. The mod also comes with customization options, like turning it into kind of like a fast food style restaurant, and it's really, really cool the way it's been implemented. You know, when Minecraft was updated with horses, did you know they spoke to the original creator of the horse mod and basically got that person to integrate it officially or help to do so? I see absolutely nothing wrong with EA doing this with Dine Out. They could contact Carl and say, all right, mate, here's the deal. You delete your mod, and in exchange, you give us all of the coding for it. We'll pay you off for it. We'll give you the money for it, and we'll integrate it officially. That way, everybody can have access to it. That way, even console players are able to access it in that way. EA won't have to do much work because the majority of hard work has already been done for them. It won't cost them that much money to pay somebody off. They're worth a few billion as far as I'm aware. They will have the money to pay off this one singular person in order to make it achievable and realistic. There is literally nothing stopping them from doing this. And you all agree, I think Dine Out definitely needs a pack refresh. Dine Out for sure. Dine Out refresh. I would love a Dine Out refresh. Everybody wants a Dine Out refresh. Everybody, why am I doing this? Everybody wants it, all right? The next thing a lot of you guys have been talking about is a neglected occults being aliens and mermaids. When I did my review of The Sims 4 Island Living, I was trying really hard to find some mermaid features that I could show you as B-roll as a part of my review, and I really struggled, and that's because the pack doesn't really come with any. A lot of people have been saying mermaids should have a skill tree system like vampires and werewolves and celebrities and get famous, and I cannot agree more. Mermaids should be a lot more in depth and have a lot more features and a lot more stuff going for them, especially seeming like, being honest, Island Living is not the most in-depth expansion pack in the world. It doesn't have much going for it. I know a lot of people really wanted Island Living to come with hotels and resorts, but it didn't. I think at the least a mermaid's overhaul is something great that they could do. And aliens as well, I just feel like that they could come with, you know, a lot more features, more specifically a skill tree system too. And they wouldn't even have to make like a full-on pack refresh. They could call it an occult refresh, where all they do is update the get to work aliens, they update the Island Living mermaids. And do you know what they could do when I was talking earlier about Outdoor Retreat? They could put bloody Bigfoot in Outdoor Retreat in their occult refresh. Now, a lot of you have been talking about My Wedding Stories too. I said this was a very realistic video, and unfortunately, I think My Wedding Stories is beyond saving. Being brutally honest, I think deep down, EA just abandoned My Wedding Stories even before it came out. When they saw all of the controversy and backlash that came in the pack literally before it came out. It was a train wreck to begin with. It was a train wreck even before it begun. The pack is so broken, always has been broken, always will be broken. EA are not touching this pack at all. They are never fixing it again. They are never refreshing it. They're abandoning it. And it is a shame that they're abandoning it. Being idealistic and not realistic, they could change this to a celebrations pack in general, about celebratory events, not just weddings. But they won't. So being realistic, not idealistic. I'm not talking about my wedding stories because it'll make me upset. Now, as I said before, EA left us with a broken promise with the townie refreshes. They refreshed the goth household and then they basically stopped. But what about this, guys? What about a build refresh? We all know there are a lot of questionable builds in The Sims 4. A lot of things that don't make sense, like the infamous one of the Realm of Magic house that has stairs leading up to literally no door because EA forgot to put it in there. With the more recent Sims 4 packs having builds made by some of the EA game changers, by some talented builders, I genuinely think it would be an amazing idea if EA got a lot of the game changers together and actually got them to update some of, you know, the base game builds, some of the builds in the other packs. I think it would be so cool. It would only require one EA employee to have 1 or 2 hours to look at it every single week. I don't think it would cost them much time and resources if they did it well. The base game builds and all of the pack builds pre-eco lifestyle were very, very bad. And I just feel like they could be so much better. So it's not a pack refresh, guys, but a build refresh. I want it so bad. Nobody ever talks about a build refresh, but I think it would work so well. Although EA may have given up on pack refreshes for now, I haven't, you haven't, most Sims 4 players haven't. I do think EA should make more steps to put the players first rather than exploiting players to make money first. They can make money in a way that's tasteful, and I think pack refreshes would be really tasteful, and I think it will be a very great way to get simmers who are new to the game to invest more in older packs like Outdoor Retreat, which a lot of newer simmers haven't touched. All of the OG Sims 4 players got Outdoor Retreat because it was a first pack, but a lot of new simmers haven't, and I think it would be a great idea. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see for more realistic, not idealistic pack refreshes. I would love to see them. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy the next video recommended. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.